There it goes. All right. We are live. This lighting is terrible. I'm making this live way later than normal. So usually I get all this natural light from the window. I have no ring lights or anything set up, so you're just gonna have to stay with me. We're gonna be talking about the secret to limitless energy every nurse deserves. I've had every time I do talk about this topic, I always have people that say, I've never heard of it that way. That's such an interesting approach. And it tends to help. So if you're watching this on recording, which nobody's here live at the moment because I just went live, but just let me know you're watching on replay, and that way I can respond to any comments that you have after. But before we start, I'm going to tag everyone so that they can know that we're live and we can get a little conversation rolling. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing worse than me just hearing myself talk. I want to be able to have a discourse, right? Secret to limitless energy every nurse deserves. Come say hey. Let's go. All right, people will see that come in. So, as we dive into this, here's the thing. The first thing I want to chat about is the difference between physical energy and mental energy. Physical energy is calories, right? We all know it. Mental energy is energy that you feel when, or I'll say it this way, there is no deficit of physical energy in America, right? For the most part. We have enough food. We have too much food, right? Which means that if we aren't experiencing energy, it's more on the mental side, right? Now, there's something to be said about, being heavier than we want to be and having that, pull it at our energy. But I would even go as far to say that the majority of energy that we want is in our mind. Now, that's going to sound super weird, but the point of all that is that I'll give you an example. And my thoughts are a little all over the place, but stay with me. I'll give you an example. When somebody starts a weight loss journey, they don't need to be at their goal to feel energized and excited, right? They just need to know that they're experiencing progress. Think about it. If you've ever started something, it's not being at the destination that gives you a ton of energy. It's starting and knowing that you're going to have progress. Now, you will get more physiological energy through that. But what we're really talking about today is the mental energy, right? How you can essentially go from an energy of a 4 to an energy of a 7, like that. There's a lot of different strategies, but we're going to be talking about one main one today. So if you're here, let me know in the comments and we'll get started. So here's the question. The question is, what percentage of your experience of life happens within your mind? If you said anything other than 100%, I disagree. My evidence for that is if you have no mind, you have no experience of life. So we can agree that the mind is the filter and the container for our experience of life. Introducing mental priming. Has anyone ever heard of mental priming before? Or would this be your first time? Let me know in the comments. So what is mental priming? Let's look at this together. And before I continue really quick, I just want to acknowledge the comments coming in. Stephanie, good to see you. Thanks for the wave. I appreciate you being here. So what is mental priming? Mental priming is the practice of either cleaning your mental filter, or mental priming is the practice of giving your mind a target. Both are beneficial and give you what you need in the moment. When you clean the filter, you do that if you're having racing thoughts and cannot control your thoughts when you stop without stimulation. So that means like you stop, you're laying down to go to sleep, and you can't go to sleep. Why? Because there's a lot of mental tabs in your brain. You need to clean the filter, right? So the other way is giving your mind a target when you already have cleaned your filter. So how do I prime? Really simple. Are you ready for the secret to unguided meditation? You just sit there. Now, I know this sounds really simple and silly, but that's literally it. We have to allow our brain to process thought. The world we live in today is so overstimulating, right? Like, think about it. Think about humans right now. Humans rarely just stand there. And I say stand because I think about going out into, society. You're standing in line at a grocery store, or you're standing in line at a restaurant, or you're waiting for the restaurant or the food to come. Even if you're with other people, which is like the crazy part, people are on their phones. They can't be without high stimulation. No wonder we can't fall asleep at night, because like once you essentially get rid of stimulation and you close your eyes, your brain is just like, it needs to process stuff. So anything that you can think of that you don't want to forget, write down. Other than that, you just have to close the tabs. Think of this process like closing tabs on your computer. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients or just people in general that I've said, I've never been a good sleeper, and that's the story they tell themselves. I'm not a good sleeper. I've never been a good sleeper. But then you take away the curtain and you see what their habits are and what goes on in their life, and it makes sense why. It's not that they're not a good sleeper. It's that they're overstimulated like crazy and stressed out of their mind and fearful, and it's causing them to stay awake. So what we need to do is prime. So when you close the tabs, your computer works better, right? Did you increase anything physically about the computer? No, you just close the tabs. And it's the same for you as a human. You're going to close mental tabs, gain mental RAM back, you'll work better, smoother, and faster, and you'll have more perceived energy. So now you get to the point that when you sit, it's relatively quiet in your mind. This takes time. This isn't something you can just do once and it's over, but you might be able to do it in a week and have it be good. So the 2 times I'd recommend you do this are, number 1, when you go to bed, right? There should always be, in my opinion, a 30-minute buffer of zero stimulation. Zero. Eyes closed, headphones on, like no stimulation. Like, I guess talking to a spouse could work, but it's got to be super light conversation, no heavy conversation, right? I mean, it's got to be like my recommendation. Like, this is what I do, and this is what I have other clients do as well. Is we do what's called a NSDR, or a non-sleep deep rest meditation. And it's not a meditation that you would imagine. It's literally just a priming where you sit there, you listen to, essentially just calming music, no lyrics. And I listen to delta waves, so it gets me into the brain waves of sleep. It's really calming. And all I do is I just sit there. And once I'm at a point that I have an empty mind, I allow myself to visualize where I want to go and what I want. And that's it. Give my mind a target, like we're talking about, right? You have to get to base, close the tabs, then you can give your mind a target. The problem with like setting new goals, and this is going to sound crazy, but it's like I've had clients that I've started with, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to lose all this weight and do all this stuff." And I'm like, "Cool, give me your day in the life." And I'm like, "Cool, we're not going to do any weight loss stuff right now." And they're like, "What? That's what I signed up for." And I'm like, "We need to get your mind free. Because right now, like, your stress is a 9 and you want to do more? Like, let's reduce. Let's start at a better foundation so we can build upon something. Right now, you're wanting to build a skyscraper on sand." And like, that sand's going to shift and fall. Let's not do that, right? Like, it's just so important. Like, this is a holistic thing. I was just talking to, another nurse just before we went on here. And, am I on the right microphone? Let me check. Is it too late? It might be too late to check. Let's see. Oh, no, I'm on. And we were talking about how holistic this really is. And she had said, like, "Oh, man, I thought I could only talk to my coach about fitness and nutrition." And it's like, I recommend talking about everything. And it's like, why? Because this is a holistic game, right? If you're thinking about the pyramid of mastery, life mastery, it's like you have physical body, emotions, relationships, time, career, finances, and then your contribution and fun and all that. We focus on the first two. That's our specialty, right? Get your body in the right place, but we're also going to get your mind in the right place and help you create new meaning to things so that you have better emotional homes and you can reframe emotional states better, right? Which is the key, right? Let me know if any of this is making sense or if any of this is resonating. Let me know in the comments so that I'm not, just rambling at you. Please let me know. I'll give you a second to comment while I keep going. So, congratulations. Once you can get to a point where you sit and it's relatively quiet in your mind, you have ascended. A lot of people think meditation is like you have to go to a cave for 30 minutes or you have to feel 30 years, or you have to feel a certain way or think about really specific thoughts. And meditation is literally just, can you sit there without stimulation? In my opinion. Other people can say meditation's other things, but that's what I think it is. But once you have closed the tabs in your mind, you can go on to focusing on a target. And I'll just, I got to refresh this so I can actually see the comments coming in. I know that I'm going live a little late. So once you have ascended, right, and you have a quiet mind, you can move on to focusing on a target. Your mind is like a heat-seeking missile. If you give it a target, you will be more easily pulled towards the actions that will get you there, because the pleasure you'll experience is at the surface of your mind. These techniques are like bathing. I recommend it daily. Do this with your step-up habit and you will transform your body, right? Step-up habit meaning just one extra habit, at a time. You don't need to start with 30 minutes. It could be 10. It could be 15. And you want a new level of focus, clarity. And if you want a new level of focus, clarity, and direction and take the guesswork out of your body transformation, of course, as always, you can apply using the link above or below, and we can help you become a super nurse as well. I went live pretty late tonight, so it's pretty quiet in the chat. Totally fine. If you guys are watching this on recording, feel free to let me know. If you have any questions, I'm here to serve you. Want to make sure you're getting all the support you need. And that is it. I will see you guys soon. See you tomorrow. If you need anything, just shout.